The mob was fed lies. They were provoked by the president and other powerful people. And they tried to use fear and violence to stop a specific proceeding of the first branch of the federal government, which they did not like. But we pressed on. We stood together and said an angry mob would not get veto power over the rule of law in our nation, not even for one night.
For more, I'm joined by Ashley Parker, the brand new White House bureau chief for the Washington Post, and Michael Steele, former Republican National Committee chairman and friend of the show. Ashley Parker, first of all, congratulations on your new gig. You know what that means. You're going to have a lot of 7 o'clock. You're going to have a lot of 7 o'clock hours intruded upon by this very show. So thank you so much for being here. I am amused, I have to say, by this Trump going away party that no one wants to come to. It starts tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. They're so desperate for crowd. They're saying people can bring 5 additional guests. But everybody's saying no. John Kelly, no. John Bolton, no. Mitch McConnell, no. On and on and on, no. Even Mike Pence. What is the thinking inside the White House? Are they going to force, like, low-level staff to, like, put on a suit and tie and go so he can have a crowd, or what?
Well, it's not just that people say no. Look at the people who the invitations are being sent to just underscores the state of things, right? You have Anthony Scaramucci, who has disavowed the president. You have John Kelly, a former chief of staff, who has said that if he was still in the cabinet, he would invoke the 25th Amendment. You have Mitch McConnell, who has said he is open to the impeachment of Donald Trump. These are sort of not your top-notch party guests for traditional festivities. And then they're saying no. I was talking to a senior White House official today who was saying they're not planning to attend either. This logic was a little bit different. It was, why would I stand in the freezing cold for, many hours in advance to say goodbye to someone who I've been in the room with, hundreds of times over the course of this administration. Now, inside the White House, they do think people will show up, but there's certainly a kind of funny invite RSVP thing going on with who they're choosing and what the responses are coming in.
Listen, former Chairman Steele, I don't know if you can even, I mean, maybe Mike Pompeo will be there to make sure that no one is woke or that nobody, like, dishonors the slaveholders. I don't understand, like, what this is going to look like, but it seems like it's going to be sort of America's most embarrassing people. And that kind of is what Trump is complaining about, even about his inaugural. He got, like, bands no one heard of, and now Biden is getting, like, Lady Gaga on them. It kind of is the final pastiche for Trumpism, no? Oh, we went with the pastiche. Okay. All right, we can do that. I just wanted to say the word pastiche once.
We can do that. Oh, okay. You're going to whip out some quasi-French on me. All righty. First off, let me just say congrats to my buddy, Ashley. Just well-deserved. Just a wonderful, wonderful acknowledgement of your hard work. Secondly, Joy, you said something leading into this about Trump saying something about he did what he had to do in his 20-minute goodbye today. He did. He did exactly what he set out to do. People need to remember he started the conversation in 2016 with Steve Bannon and Reince Priebus telling us they were going to deconstruct the administrative state. And they have spent 4 years wrecking every feature of our republic and every underlying pillar of our constitutional principles and ideas. So, yeah, they did what they set out to do. And the country has now returned the favor with the biggest, most powerful send-off and salute they can by saying bye-bye, bye-bye. And the idea that he's sitting here, worrying about, talking about who's not showing up or who's coming and all this other stuff, he's going out the way he came in, with a whimper. Folks did not show up in the droves that they claimed in 2016 when he said hello, and folks aren't going to show up in the droves that he wants when he says goodbye. That is the quintessential definition of the last 4 years.
Well, it is amazing when you talk about what they set out to do, Ashley. I mean, he had a very specific list of things he wanted to accomplish. Build a wall Mexico would pay for, repeal Obamacare, grow the economy, build, bring back manufacturing, bring back coal, all of this stuff. None of that actually happened. But I wonder if, when you're talking with folks on Capitol Hill, he did accomplish something for people like Josh Hawley, who nobody knew who he was, that he's sort of laid out a groundwork for how you could acquire power without accomplishment, right? You had Josh Hawley today trying to block the Department of Homeland Security nominee for incoming President Biden, the one Latino guy, trying to block him because of caravans, and he doesn't like DACA, and so Alejandro Mayorkas should not be able to be confirmed. Like, he sort of laid a groundwork for that, right? I guess, is that what Republicans are thinking?
In certain ways, as Michael said, he's leaving with a whimper, but it is still very much, for now at least, the Republican Party of Trump. And he did provide a roadmap for getting quick and easy attention. If you look at, some of the few prominent Congress people newly elected who are QAnon supporters, and sort of a way of tapping into that populist base of sort of getting that positive reaffirmation by being highly controversial. You're seeing some people in the Republican Party publicly desperate to move away from it. And while he was present, there was a huge circle who privately would tell reporters, I don't like this tweet. I don't like what he's doing. I think this is unacceptable and atrocious. And then you ask them when the cameras are out or when it's on the record, and, well, they didn't see the tweet and they're not going to criticize the president. So it's sort of unclear where the party is going to go from there. You're going to have your Ted Cruz's, your Josh Hawley's, and you're going to have people who, like those Republicans who voted for impeachment in the House, and we'll have to see what they do on the Senate side.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the party, and this is something I know you are concerned about, Michael Steele, the other sort of big thing that he revealed is that what the base of the party cares more about than policy or even taxes or whatever is this idea of trying to undo political correctness. You have Mike Pompeo, as I mentioned before, wailing on about wokeism and multiculturalism and saying, why are you so mean to people who own slaves? Be nice to them. You have this 1776 commission, which is a laughable attempt to sort of rip off the 1619 Project with a new version of history that says, no, slavery was fine. It's all good. Don't say mean things about our founders. Like, that is what people care more about, right? Is that people are too woke on campuses. That's the thing they care about in the Republican base.
No, I agree with that, Joy. And there is a legitimate concern about the degree to which and the extent to which some of this wokeness gets played out when it comes to conservatives and center-right individuals around the country. And it's a fair argument to make. But this idea that you're now going to come back around and deny American history and deny the facts as they existed then and as they exist now is where you lose legitimacy. We can be a party that speaks truthfully about our history, but also has to acknowledge that truth.
Yeah, indeed. But if the legacy of Trump is one thing, it's making the Republican Party the anti-wokeness party. That seems like what they really care about. Ashley Parker, congratulations again. Michael Steele, thank you very much, my friend. Appreciate